Hi everyone, it's Christine, your lovable, huggable muse, and welcome to the Vortex, everyone. We're bringing you our uploads from our downloads. And today, you guys, we're going to be going over part 2 of the hero's journey in Oz. And in our last video, we actually talked about stages 1 through 5 in the hero's journey and how it correlates to the movie Wizard of Oz and how I relate it to some of our own hero's journeys in our own life path. So we're going to be basically going through the stages 6 through 8, and that's going to get really interesting. This is pretty much the part of the story where all the action happens, where the climax of the story is, and where the triumph over the challenges for the heroes pretty much happens. So stay tuned as we hop, skip, and sing down the yellow brick road, everyone. In our previous video, everyone, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, we talked a little bit about step 6 and how to know where people are either allies or challenges in your own hero's journey. And today, you guys, we're going to talk a little bit more about the test that the allies have to overcome and the foes that they have to meet and some of the challenges they have to go through. So now that the heroes pretty much left the ordinary world into what Joseph Campbell coins in as the special or extraordinary world, she's actually confronted with more challenging situations. Parallel to that, she's actually also equipped with more extraordinary people and gifts that help her through this new place. And, you guys, we're not condoning killing in this narrative. So all deaths that are happening are going to be happening as metaphors, and that's how we're going to do it. All right. So while the Wicked Witch of the East death occurs, when Dorothy transports to her new reality, it pretty much represents the death of certain things in our life when we first awaken into our reality. And those things are going to be more like struggles that are more internal, like our ego, having lack of confidence, limiting beliefs. And those are the kind of things that we kill off. So now that we've defeated some more of our internal things, we're now facing a more sinister foe who is pretty much her sister, and something that's even harder to fight and destroy, you guys, because now this enemy is still very alive in our world of Oz. And we can still physically be affected in that reality that they exist in. And that's pretty much the Wicked Witch of the West. Like her sister, everyone, she's the part of ourselves that prevents us from going home. I mean, the Wicked Witch pretty much represents our outside view of the world and experiences. And she's literally just a mirror of what's going on inside. And now that her sister is dead, she must avenge her sister. She's going to be reminding us that everything we tried to kill in her sister still exists in her reality or her dream reality. And she's armed with these minions. And the funny part is they're actually flying monkeys in this story. And here I actually see the parallels of the monkey mind, everyone. It's actually a really interesting concept in the Buddhist teachings, where those irrational fears and ruminations that are going through our minds create a disruption in our reality world. And I'm going to post a little article below a little bit to give you a little bit more information on the monkey mind. So everyone, together, the Wicked Witch uses these flying monkeys to bring havoc upon Dorothy and her companions. And at this point, the Wicked Witch is bent on taking the hero off her path, off the yellow brick road, and pretty much taking away the one thing, you guys, that could help bring her home, which is ruby slippers. So it's kind of like when they were in the poppy fields, and she tries to put Dorothy and her companions back into this dream state, pretty much where the world tries to keep us in. And in my own experience, you guys, it kind of seems like the world is always trying to keep us in this dream world by enticing us with worldly things. But interestingly enough, it's actually the scarecrow who represents the one seeking wisdom in the mind, who awakens the rest of his companions in the poppy field. So it's almost as if the act of seeking mind or wisdom is really where you find the path to awakening. But that path isn't always an easy one, you guys. I mean, at some point in your journey, you're probably going to go through this, which is stage 7, everyone, which is the approach to the inmost cave. This is pretty much where the hero faces conflict, either in a real place or in a location inside of yourselves. And in that case, in the storyline, that cave was actually the haunted forest where Dorothy and her companions face many ordeals that are going to challenge her and her companions. And they pretty much test them in areas that they think they still lack in. So in the haunted forest, everyone, the cowardly lion has to face his fear of being in the dark and in a scary place. That's where they get the full-on attack from the witch's minions, the flying monkeys. They actually lose Heart or the Tin Man at one point. And the scarecrow, which is the mind, is actually torn apart by these flying monkeys. And they end up carrying away Dorothy to the ultimate ordeal, all alone and without her companions. So in stage 7, everyone, and in the haunted forest, it's really like the dark night of the soul, where we're pretty much forced to go deep inwards to face our inner shadows. And oftentimes, that's when we're the most vulnerable, everyone. I mean, where we haven't quite grown mentally or spiritually. And when we think we lack in heart, wisdom, or encouragement and strength. And it's actually that part of the journey that's the most scary, because it's filled with shadows that are just something we're not really ready for. And that's where we're definitely being attacked by the monkey mind, which is inevitably going to carry us off, everyone, into stage 8, which is the ultimate ordeal. This is where Dorothy and her companions face their ultimate foe in the witch's castle. So since the wicked witch in our narrative, everyone, represents the world, they have to defeat the worldly force that's seeking vengeance on the act of us killing her sister, Ego, and waking up. So on the hero's journey, we're often going to be in this place where we don't necessarily feel like we're ready to face our challenges. We're just never enough sometimes, you guys. We're never enough heart, never enough brains or wisdom, never enough courage, never really sure if we really know our way back home. So this is where we're the most vulnerable, everyone. So without our companions like heart, wisdom, and strength, the world really tries to taunt us once again with our ordinary fears. So here in the witch's castle, Dorothy's again faced with the fear of losing her dog Toto again and never going back home to her Aunt Em. And the wicked witch, who represents the worldly things, tries to tempt Dorothy with ordinary world things to give up the ruby slippers, which is really by now what we all know is her way home, everyone. And I just kind of really want to ask you guys, how often are we like Dorothy, who are tempted to give up our keys to our path, to source and enlightenment, with a replaying of these old narratives and stories? So, I'll give you a story. I mean, when I came out here, I honestly did know what my purpose was, and it was really just to heal myself. And I also knew by doing that, I would also be healing those around me. And at first, you guys, I really got caught up in the poppy fields. I mean, this was really my first real sense of freedom. And I really lost just the point of me coming here, and I really forgot what I was meant to do. So like the wicked witch, in dream reality, it tries to pull us back into our old narrative when we're the most vulnerable. There were so many things that happened in the last few years, so many trials that me and my family had to face in the last few years that honestly we really were not ready to face. There was sicknesses and there was passing away of loved ones. I was actually plunged into the dark night of the soul, and I went through this for quite some bit of time, separated from my heart, my mind, and any courage that I thought I had. And even though it was a scary place for me, you guys, this was really the place where I grew the most. I mean, I did have to go through some things alone, like just inner child healing in the dark night of the soul. But when the time came for me to face my ultimate foes in life, I really didn't have to do it alone. I mean, the one thing which I really think is interesting, that I never really realized up until now, was what Dorothy's dog Toto was to her in her story, everyone. And, she was actually left to face the Wicked Witch on her own. But during that time, Toto manages to run away and go back to the haunted forest and retrieve her companions, or the parts of her that she was disconnected from, as she was carried away from the flying monkeys. And you know what? It's actually here that I realized that Toto was literally the only thing in Dorothy's reality that crossed over from her ordinary to extraordinary, everyone. And you know, in life, everyone, there's only one thing that's always with us, that stays with us no matter where we are in life. And that is our source. That's our soul. So in our connection between worlds and between our dream reality and what we call home, we have that with us. And you guys, in Dorothy's final act, before she's ever able to destroy her ultimate foe, her final act was being able to make herself whole again. You know, a metaphorical return to self. So with determination and love, her companions are climbing up this treacherous path and sneak past the flying monkeys to become reunited and save each other. And this is pretty much the stage where Dorothy and her companions are finally really able to defeat the Wicked Witch, even though they didn't think they had it in them or think they were complete. They really did have all they needed, after all, everyone. And it was something even greater than themselves that actually helped them to prevail. It was actually an act of love and not malice that they defeated the Wicked Witch, as Dorothy throws water on her friend who was set on fire, and that water ends up being what takes down the witch in the end. Something as pure and simple as that. And that was one of the things I really learned, everyone, on my own hero's journey. This is the takeaway from this, that in order for us to destroy anything bad in this world, everyone, we always have to look at things with compassion and love. This is going to be the greatest lesson that I've learned on my spiritual journey, that you don't focus on the evils in this world, but you learn to love the things that you want to save. And you just keep doing that. Focus on the love and love yourself, every little imperfect, incomplete part of yourself, because that's the laws of the universe, everyone. So even if you can't see that in yourself, that completeness, I charge all of you to fill those empty spaces with love and your own self-love, because that's going to be your connection to the divine, to the things that are going to help you get through everything you need to go through. I mean, that's going to be your connection to how you're going to get through everything, and all the answers come into place that are going to help you on your path, everyone. I mean, have love for yourself and those people around you, even if you don't feel like that other person deserves it. I mean, one of the things that's going to bring you closer to returning to yourself so you can face those challenges in the world is going to be having that self-love. I mean, especially during times like this, everyone, when there's so much that needs to be healed in our world. If there's an ugliness in it, I challenge all of you, heal what you see in it first. Heal how you see it. And you'll definitely heal everything all around you. And I just want to leave you with one final thought, everyone, which is omnia vincit omnia. That is Latin for love conquers all. And I just think that's going to be the most amazing message we can just kind of take with us today, everyone. I mean, definitely thank you so much for joining me on this hero's adventure. Definitely join me for the conclusion of the hero's journey in Oz, where Dorothy finally finds her way home. And we'll definitely get deeper into not only just finding home, but finding that place within ourselves where we return to self. So thank you so much for coming out and joining me, everyone. I always love sharing my stories with you. If you liked anything, or you want to see more of what we're going to be doing in the future, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until then, live your life like every day's an adventure. We definitely love having you. So see you the next adventure, everyone. You have an amazing day. Bye-bye.